Hi, it's Sue from Aging Joyfully. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit different topic. I'm going to talk about the people you meet along the way. That's the people who you meet throughout your life in everyday interactions. For 3 years during the pandemic, Steve and I did not travel at all. We didn't have a lot of money and we didn't want to get sick. But we've made a goal of trying to get out, travel a little more, and meet some more people. We met people through Tennessee, Georgia, Virginia, and North Carolina. And in our travels, we talked to not only the other travelers, but the people working the desk at the hotels, the people running the waitresses at the restaurants. We've talked to the store owners, the store clerks, and we've gotten a little bit of their stories, and it's been so much fun to talk to them and learn about their lives. We've talked to people, Democrats, Republicans, it didn't matter. We found that some people, the store owners in several different cities are hurting. They're really hurting. In addition to having to make enough to pay your rent and your supplies, you have to pay for your own health insurance and your own retirement. They're struggling, and they're thinking, is anybody going to hear us? Is anybody going to help us? The people, the clerks at the hotels, they make barely anything, and they're struggling just to get by. The people traveling, they're mostly older people with pensions, and they're very comfortable and don't always appreciate how the other people are struggling quite a bit. 1 year ago today, my cousin passed away at the age of 61. It was a total shock to everyone. He was extremely healthy, or appeared to be so. He had a charmed life. He was very comfortable. He had inherited a lot of money. He made a lot of money. His wife had a good job. They seemed to be living the dream. It just came as a shock to all of us. I remember growing up in my family of 8 kids, whenever we saw him for holidays and he was going home, I always felt sorry for him. I always thought, oh, what a sad life. He's going home to his empty, clean house with shelves full of every board game that ever was invented and all the soda you want in that refrigerator. And we were going home to our big, messy, loud house with everything was broken from us, from the kids, breaking everything. And I felt sorry for him. But later on, I was a little envious. He seemed to have it all, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. He was living his life far away, and I was living mine. And then we got the phone call that he had passed away in his sleep 1 year ago. It makes you think about life. It makes you think about the people you meet in your life. We are all connected in this world, and this experience with my cousin has made me want to learn people's stories and to see how we're all connected. And we all have basically the same goals. We want to have health, happiness, happy families, safe homes. We want to be able to pay our bills, to be able to go to the doctor if we're sick. I don't like this divide. It really makes me so anxious of this divide between everyone, the fighting, the bickering, the unable to even watch TV without having so much anger and hatred. I met 2 different people on this trip, one a devout Republican and one a devout Democrat, and I listened patiently without interjecting to their hatred of the other side. And I don't know. I just don't get it. We're all Americans. We're all in this country. We all have the basic same goals. If you have your family close to you, give them hugs, kisses, let them know. Send them letters, cards, calls, texts, whatever it takes. Family is so important. On this Halloween day, I hope nobody gets hurt. As I always hear of these stories every Halloween of children getting hurt and not good things happening to them. I never wanted to drive on Halloween because I was always nervous with the children darting back and forth between houses that they would run in front of my car. So I never wanted to drive. Last week, one of my niece's boyfriend's sister got hit by a car in Atlanta. Thank God she wasn't seriously hurt. She's still alive. But that isn't true for my nephew's girlfriend's sister, who perished when she was hit a couple of years ago by somebody texting in their car. Life is so precious. This arguing, I don't know, it makes me concerned about Thanksgiving. I am pretty sensitive. My mother always said I was the sensitive one of the 8. I like to see other sides. I like to understand other sides. In college, one of my professors said, if you could argue the side you don't agree with, then you could really understand the debate. Can you argue the opposite side of what you agree with? Can you see the other side? Can you empathize? I try to. I try really, really hard to see the other side in life. I try to have conversations with people, and if they're open to conversations, and most people are. We met this wonderful store owner in Abingdon, Renee. She told me to manifest it. She said, whatever I want in life, just to manifest it. And that is my new goal. That is my new saying, manifest it. Renee, I am trying. I'm trying my hardest to manifest it. I am trying to do, but sometimes other people don't want to manifest it with you. You know what I'm saying? What do you do when the other person doesn't want to have that same goal as you? How do you talk to the other side who doesn't have that same goal as you, or is unwilling or unable to open up and talk to you? We met so many wonderful people. We met people on the trail, an elderly couple who were in their 70s who told us how they got cancer from spraying the weeds in their yard. And that has actually become one of our new obsessions. And they told us, you've got to be careful. Don't use those chemicals. It will lead to cancer. We appreciate that so much. We didn't really get their names, but we also met a couple. We got to the rocks at the top of the hike, and Steve actually almost fell. He couldn't get up the rocks because he was using his poles to climb up these rocks and almost fell back, and I could see him smashing his head open, and it was such a close call. And the man there reached out his arm and pulled Steve in. We didn't even know this person. His name is Jerry. We are eternally grateful for Jerry because Steve actually could have died if he had fallen back and hit his head. And a stranger reached out and pulled him in, someone we never knew. And we ended up walking back down the mountain with him and his wife. And had a great conversation. Those are the moments we cherish. That's what life is all about, isn't it? Isn't it? We met other great people. By the time I got to Abingdon, I was just talking to everyone, and we were talking to the clerk when we checked in, and I had a big smile on my face, and I turned around. There was an elderly man in line, and he just scowled at me because I was taking too long to check in. And I was like, oh, I didn't know people were so angry in this world. Later, as a way of trying to apologize, he actually came up and talked to me. I think he realized how angry he looked, and he talked to us because we found out we were all going to see the play Clue. And later when we went to dinner, they were coming out of the restaurant as we went in, and we were like old friends. Have you talked to people today? Have you talked to strangers in line? Instead of getting mad that you have to wait, can you take that minute to talk to the people in line? Wherever you are, just say hello. How are you? I try to ask everyone when we go places, how are you? How's your day? It makes life better for all of us. So have a healthy, safe, and happy Halloween, and keep your little ones safe. Watch out for them tonight as they're eagerly getting all of their candy. And give your mom a call. Tell her how you love her. Call your sister, your aunt, your grandma. Call that family member before it's too late, before you have some regrets in your life. We have lots of other videos. This one was a little bit deep, but I wanted to honor my cousin who had died a year ago and who makes me really think about how precious life is every day. We have videos on Social Security, Medicare, retirement, traveling, all kinds of things. Our daughter's dog that we've been taking care of, anything. And if you comment below what type of videos you want, we will try to make one. We do research a lot of our topics as we're not an expert in any one area. but we love to learn and explore issues. Whenever we want to know anything, we just research it and do it. Life hasn't always been easy for us. We've had a lot of obstacles to overcome, and we keep plugging away. It's not easy. We're made this effort to be joyful, as we do have more aches and pains and health problems and whatnot. I mean, overall, we're pretty healthy. We've changed our diet and exercise and lost weight. But you have all kinds of problems as you age. Another big problem is loneliness. We did a video on that, how it is a chronic problem with not only elderly, but everybody in the United States. We had a neighbor who was a psychologist, and she treated elderly people, and she first made me aware of this issue with elderly. I had no idea at that time, because this was 20 something years ago, and I had no idea elderly are lonely and depressed, because they are the forgotten people. They have aches and pains, and they're unable to drive or get out. Their friends have died, their families died, their children moved away, their children are too busy, whatever it is. She made me aware of that. As you age, you do get more and more issues. And I wish we lived in a society where everybody was all intermixed, that communities were a mixture of all different ages. Like Steve's brother in Charlotte, he made a comment when we were leaving that their community is a good blend of all ages. He didn't want to live in an area with all older people, which is what we were looking at when we first moved here. And when we saw everyone with their wheelchairs, walkers, and braces, we just said, we can't do it. We were too young to do it. We thought that might be age us before our time. A community where we could all interact, where the young interact with the old and the old with the young. We all benefit from that kind of environment. It's a shame that we don't encourage that in America. Comment below. I know other countries do have these type of things where they actually cherish their elderly people. That movie on Netflix, The Blue Zone, said how the people live to over 100 because they are cherished. Elderly are cherished for their wisdom, their knowledge, they're respected. Unfortunately, it's not so true in this country. Comment below, and until I see you again, take it easy.